Squats.
Why?
Just overall leg growth. They help glutes, quads, like a large portion of the leg that
Barbell
will really
back
help.
squat.
Barbell back squat.
So C-Bump's first exercise is the squat. When you think leg day, you either think squatting or leg press. You need at least one heavy compound movement.
If it's my whole life, I might actually do Smith machine squats because it'll help my knees and be a little bit easier.
Okay.
Less stability, and people hate me for that, but I love squatting the Smith machine.
All right.
And to even go one step further, he even mentions doing it for the rest of his life and mentions Smith machine squat. The Smith machine squat is an exercise I personally think which is really underrated. And in my opinion, I think the Smith machine squat should be a standard exercise you should be doing on leg day, especially if you're suffering from bad knees or poor ankle mobility, like myself.
Deadlifts,
Okay.
just to get something that'll target my hamstrings. And so I don't have to take out another 10 of something too hamstring focused and glute and back focused.
Exercise number 2 is the deadlift. While C-Bump didn't specifically want to isolate his hamstrings, it may be a waste of an exercise if you do lay-in leg curls or seated leg curls. So he's thinking outside the box and using compound exercises as they target more muscles. Although C-Bump didn't necessarily say which specific deadlift, we'll just assume the conventional. The deadlift targets your back, hamstrings, glutes, quads, core. So I think this makes a lot more sense than going specifically for a hamstring curl.
Pull-ups, so I can hit my back and biceps in one.
Exercise number 3 is the pull-up, and the pull-up is a very underrated back exercise. This is maybe because it's a bodyweight exercise, and when you think bodybuilding or targeting a specific muscle group, you don't necessarily think bodyweight exercises. It's not a great exercise if you've got a big ego, as your ego just wants to load up that weight.
Overhand, underhand?
Neutral.
Oh, neutral grip.
Neutral probably, yeah. It's
Okay.
a little bit more lat and biceps.
Yep.
Make sure my arms are going.
And Chris even asked about the grip, whether it's pronated, supinated, or neutral. And Chris specifically chooses the neutral grip. This is because your neutral grip engages your biceps a lot more. So this could be 2 birds, 1 stone and also be counted as a bicep exercise. Instead of going with the standard pronated grip, which targets your traps and your lats, whereas the supinated grip takes a lot of stress off your lats and loads it more into your bicep.
Incline dumbbell press.
Exercise number 4 is the incline dumbbell press, my favorite exercise. That you're choosing 10 specific exercises to use for the rest of your life. You're neglecting some minor exercises like your front delts. So instead of doing a flat bench and raising that bench by 30 to 45 degrees, you're also incorporating some front delt into this chest exercise as well as your tricep.
I find inclines a little bit better on your shoulders. So if you're doing it's the only exercise you can do, you won't fuck up your shoulders as much. And dumbbell, it'll just keep you a little bit more symmetrical.
Yeah, I love that. I've always loved that exercise.
Whereas the flat press will mainly be targeting your pectoral major. In this circumstance, it's good to be using exercises that hit other muscles also. But the incline dumbbell chest press is my personal favorite chest exercise because I just feel like I could get a full stretch instead of being restricted by the barbell.
Dumbbell shoulder press.
Seated?
Seated.
Yep.
Dumbbell shoulder press. Yeah, I think that'll help your triceps and shoulders a lot.
Exercise number 5 is a seated dumbbell shoulder press. Again, when you're talking shoulder exercises, one of the key exercises is the seated dumbbell shoulder press. You get a great stretch on your front and side delt, and also the bench is stabilized on your core, so you don't have to worry about balance. But it is very easy to get carried away on this exercise, and it's difficult not to let your ego take over. I personally think this exercise is essential when you're training your shoulders, but if you want to swap this out and have an exercise which engages your core a little bit more, you could always do the standard military press. So we're at the halfway point, and let me know below if there's any exercises that you disagree with and you would swap out.
A close grip flat bench. Different part of the chest and triceps.
Okay. Yeah.
The next exercise is the close grip bench, which is slightly controversial, and the close grip bench does target more of your tricep also, so maybe he's thinking along those lines. But in my opinion, if you are going to include a flat bench press, you may as well do the traditional one.
Dumbbell curl.
Supinated. Again, this is the only one that you're going to get. Are you seated? Are you standing?
Standing, supinated.
Next is where the fun is, and he's asked about biceps, and he chooses the standard supinated dumbbell curl. Although C-Bum chose an exercise where the biceps are a secondary muscle, he's going for a bicep specific exercise here.
How do you want to live without doing fucking dumbbell curls?
It doesn't even
for the
help your
rest of
physique.
life,
I just need it for my mindset.
Exactly.
As your standard gym bro that goes to the gym, everybody appreciates a good bicep pump, so it would be rude not to leave them out.
Did I say bent over row?
No.
Bent over row.
Exercise number 8 is a back exercise, and he goes for the bent over row. The bent over row is a great exercise no matter what grip you do, whether it's pronated or supinated.
That'll help like stability, like core as well. and then like lower back and obviously upper back.
This exercise can really build you that thick back, as it's targeting your upper traps, your mid traps, your lats, more or less all the muscles in the back. But this exercise doesn't necessarily agree with me, so I would do something more chest supported, and I'd probably go for a T-bar row.
Probably like a hanging leg raise, just to make sure your core is getting hit. You're not like...
Exercise number 9 is hanging leg raises. C-Bump didn't necessarily have to choose an ab exercise because he's got squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, bent over row. A lot of these exercises also help to engage the core.
Up your back, and then...
And of course, C-Bump knows the importance of training abs and having a strong core, so that's why he specifically chose this exercise.
I would probably do lateral raises just to get some meaty delts over.
Last but not least, dumbbell lateral raises. In my opinion, shoulders and your delts specifically define a physique, and that's the exercise that widens you out and fixes your frame. This exercise really kills off your delts, but I'm not gonna lie, I'd much rather swap this exercise out for cable single arm lateral raises. One, just because one of my shoulders will have the full attention at a time, and 2, if you use the cables, you get resistance the whole way. So it's just personal preference. These are C-Bump's 10 exercises. Just because he's a 6-time Mr. Olympia doesn't mean these exercises are right. These are his exercises for his personal preference. Let me know below what exercises you would choose. If not, watch this next video.